This might get weird.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Well, then cheers, Grace Helbig.
Cheers, Mamrie Hart.
You guys, welcome to This Might Get Weird, and it will.
This is an episode I truly never thought we would ever have.
I mean,
I got bangs.
Yes! The biggest news of the week, if you've been on the internet, is that Grace Helbig got back. That we are going to talk about that.
We will. We will get to
just
that.
So you know.
But we have an incredible thing to talk about.
And that is the fact that I got engaged.
Even just hearing you say that.
It's so surreal, Grace. It
Oh my
truly
God.
is like I haven't fully processed.
I know. I mean, okay. So do you want to explain when it happened to give
Yes.
a little bit of timeline?
Okay.
Because it's still crazy to me.
Still crazy.
I have, like, my heart is bursting. I'm so fucking excited for you.
Me too. And it's very surreal, and it's okay. We'll get into all of it.
Yeah.
But so not this past week, and the one before, Chip was coming home from St. Louis, where he's been working for a month, and he told me he was like going to try to get an earlier flight and come back on Saturday instead of Sunday, and it was all great, normal.
Yeah.
You know, and then so I pick him up from the airport because he flew into Burbank. We would not do that at LAX.
Right.
I'm already setting a romantic tone.
Yeah.
By accident. But I went to the wrong terminal.
Nice.
Anyway, besides the fact,
There's only two.
There's only two.
right next to each other.
because I looked at it wrong. But so anyway, which he didn't. Normally he'd be like annoyed with, and he wasn't. And I was like, he's really chill tonight.
Wow. In hindsight,
the
hindsight on all of this, and we'll get into it, is hilarious.
So I pick him up. We come home. I had already like prepped dinner because that's the best thing in the world is like. Come home. We're just going to be lazy. I got dinner ready to go. I'm wearing leopard print biker shorts.
Nice.
No makeup.
Nice.
Like 5-day dirty hair. Our This Might Get Weird merch.
Yeah.
No bra.
You are literally
Came in swanging.
in your most natural state.
Girl, I am in the kitchen. So he's been home for probably like an hour and a half or so, you know.
Okay.
And we've reconnected. And...
Good for you guys.
Also, in hindsight, Chip was like, I was so glad that was like a great session. Because if, you know, like it always is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was so
If
glad.
something weird happened.
Yeah. And all of a sudden I was like, sorry, babe, I got a rash. And then, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Have you got your period or something?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, sorry, parents who are listening to the podcast for this story.
Nice.
So anyway, so I'm in the kitchen. We're listening to music. We're having cocktails. We're in our element.
So
right?
cute.
It's a happy place. When you're in a relationship where someone works on the road so much, it's not like, here's another monotonous night of making dinner. It's like, this is it.
This is what you work for.
This is what we work for. And so I'm literally in front of the stove. I have pulled out 2 meatloafs. Now picture me, spandex shorts, swanging, no makeup. Like, I have pulled out a meatloaf, vegetarian for me, a regular for him, and I literally say, do you want me to make you a plate? And he comes over, and I was like, I guess he's making a plate. And he takes my hand, and he's like, hey, I love you so much. And he launches into like, you know, he started within like third sentence, he starts tearing up, and I'm like, is he about to tell me like something tragic?
Yeah, right.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Or are you breaking up with me? Like, what's happening? And he's just like, you know, I halfway blacked out. You know what I mean? As you do. And I'm floating above the kitchen, right?
Yes, you're watching it from above.
Yes. And he's like, you know, says all the things of like, I want to make life decisions with you, and you're my person. And then he gets on a fucking knee and pulls out a little blue box. And I say, what is happening?
I bet you did. I bet you said that a lot.
I said it a lot. And he goes, I am proposing to you. And I said, wait, whoa. Like, you have no idea. I'm like, I'm looking for a hidden camera.
I have some idea. I have a feeling that you were flabbergasted.
I mean, Grace, it was this. like mouth dropped, shaking. You know,
like fully glitching. What's happening?
What's
There's
happening?
a break in the matrix. Is this real life?
I'm making meatloaf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he says all the sweetest things and goes into the fact that, you know, he wanted to do it here because it's our happy place, but also because 7 years earlier, after we came back from our first trip together in Mexico, in the kitchen is when he was leaving to go on the road. And I said, before he left, I was like, surely he's going to ask me to be his girlfriend in Mexico. Yeah. And then he didn't. And then when I was in the kitchen, he was like kissing me goodbye. I was like, are you my boyfriend or what? So I'm Chip. Kudos to you for not saying, are you my fiance or what?
Right.
But it was this full circle moment, and he like really took that into account.
Oh my God.
And I mean, just the sweetest, because I've talked before about like marriage has been like it's very important to some people, and I totally respect that.
Yeah, you and I have, I think, bonded in like a very, you know, subcontext kind of way about feeling like our careers and the fun in our life was like where we wanted to put our energy, and that the more traditional route of marriage, also when you're a child of divorce, like marriage just never looks that fun or exciting.
Also, I don't want kids. I never want kids. So I feel like marriage is okay, twofold. It's like you want to have children, that's great, whatever. I feel like one of the things that, you know, like Chip and I had talked about before with marriage is like, I feel like a lot of people get married because it's just the logical next step.
Yeah.
Or because they're bored. Or because it'll solve something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're fighting. He's cheating on me. He wouldn't do that if we were married. I'm making a massive generalization. There's a lot of just happy married people.
But that's the thing is that I felt very overwhelmed. And then like once I started to process when Elliot proposed that like it doesn't have to be traditional the way I imagined it my whole life. It can be literally whatever you want it to be, however the two of you want to do it. You can never get married. You can be engaged forever. You could get married tomorrow at the courthouse. Like you can do whatever you want.
But even Chip said it's like when he's mid proposing, and again he sees that I'm glitching. He was like, you never have to wear the ring. You could put it in a drawer. He was like, I'm pretty sure he asked the woman at Tiffany's, like, do you guys have a small chain? In case I wanted to straight up Carrie Bradshaw it.
Oh, my God.
You know, he's like, we could be engaged for decades, you know, like what? Yeah. But him saying, like, but I wanted to show you that this is I'm going to cry. He was like, that I want to take the next step with you and that you're my person. Yeah. And it's just like, and of course I said yes. And I love him. And I was like, what is happening? Like, basically, I don't remember the rest of the night.
Of course not, because you're a Virgo, right? Yeah. You're a control freak in a lot of ways of like knowing what's going on, and that helps keep the wheels in motion. This was not in the archive of anything that could happen that night. So how could you reorient yourself to reality?
No clue. And it's also like so many people, they'll be like, well, let me surprise them with an engagement on this trip. I'm like, you want to surprise someone? You want to catch them off guard. Wait till they're pulling out 2 pans of meatloaf.
Literally, you were in your most comfortable, vulnerable. Like, it's how hunters trap prey.
Oh, my God. You trapped me, Chip. You trapped me.
No, it's so... Because Chip also took a huge risk. By doing this.
The boy has...
He's got some balls.
And he legitimately, he was like, nervous. My heart has never been beating that fast. He's like, I was watching you finish dinner with a ring box in my pocket.
Oh, man. God.
And he was like, I really thought, like, I don't know if I can do this. Yeah. Because of all the, like, you know. Yeah. Me just being like, yeah, whatever, you know. Yeah. Him going like, because you could have said no.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. That's the thing is that he really put himself in a position where it's like, it's either going to go down the way I want. Yeah. Or this might be the end of this situation, which is, I mean, kudos to Chip because I know he explained it in a really, like, Elliot was like, wow, Chip's philosophy on what prompted him to propose to Mamrie was incredibly beautiful.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, yeah, because he was saying that he wants to make decisions that change his life for the better. Yeah. And then he was using this car analogy.
Of course he was. No. Okay. Well, we'll get to like me telling Grace, but he was saying like, if not now, when? And I need to start making decisions. And then and Elliot was like, elaborate. And he's like, well, there's this truck. And I was like, I'm going to run through a wall. I'm going to run through a wall. if you compare asking me to marry you to choosing a truck to buy. I love him. So it was like perfect and sweet. And then we were like, let's not tell anyone for a few days and just like sit in the news. And we kept singing. We kept playing Mr. Roboto by Styx that night because there's a part of it that goes, secret, secret, we got a secret. And we're just like drinking gin gimlets and like sneaking around the house saying secret, secret. And we were like, is Mr. Roboto our wedding song?
Our wedding song, maybe.
Like, that would be epic. But so we just kind of like, so when we went the next day to the car show with you guys, we were engaged.
Yeah, that's what we found out after the fact is that Chip invited Elliot and I to the car show, as we said last week, which was like a surprise. But like Elliot was like, cool, this is fun that he's like including us. Let's do it. And hindsight, you two seemed so happy. I mean, not that you wouldn't.
It's his happy place,
but
outside of the kitchen.
Yeah, I was just like, wow. To think of them having that little secret the whole time we were walking around looking at cars. Secret, secret.
I mean, like we're getting our coffee ready to go. And I'm like taking off the ring and putting it in the ring box and being like, we'll put this back on later. And it was really fun too, because we like went to dinner and stuff like that. And I would like wear my ring, but put it like, do it. And meanwhile, I've noticed since wearing this, I don't look at anyone's hands.
Yeah.
No one would have noticed.
No, I mean, you really had to point for me to notice what was going on.
Oh, well,
you
were not computing.
But it was, I mean, incredible. So you guys go to the next few days without telling anyone. So we go the next few days not
telling anyone. It's just, and I mean, I would like come back here to work and just text him in the next room. Remember when you proposed to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it feels fucking wild, like totally insane. And so even I went back and I listened, Grace.
Yeah.
Because we recorded remotely. You were in Florida last week. And at the very end, I'm like, you talk about the new moon.
Yeah.
And if you look at my face, there's one part where I go,
oh my God.
Because everything you were saying aligned with the fact that we had just gotten engaged.
Wow. I've been saying, and I wrote this on our Patreon too, that there's something about, like, I forget about the new moons that happen every month constantly. And there was something about this last one that I was like, this feels really important. And I feel very like attracted to the shift that feels like it's happening right now. It feels like a lot of good, positive momentum, a lot of that like nourishing whatever the next chapter of life is.
I know. I went back and I listened to, I like went to the time code or
Go
whatever
back
this
and watch
morning
and see if you guys can find it.
There's one moment where I'm like, I can't wait to talk about this next week when you know. But then also I was thinking about it. I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong because I can't remember what year it is, but I feel like at the top of the year when we always talk about our resolutions.
Yeah.
My one of them, besides like be more mindful in your life and sleep and drinking, and we didn't do any of that. But the other one was take yourself more seriously.
Yeah.
And I realized it was like, I thought about that the other day and it was like, you're talented, you're this and that, like take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
But another thing is, because of our work, and maybe this is just universal because, you know, you'll hear an 80-year-old woman be like, I still think I'm 16.
Sure.
And so we're very much like, we're just bumbling Muppet idiot girls who get to like have jokes and have a great time. And aren't we so lucky? But also like,
that's part of who we are.
That's part of who we are. But it's also like Chip and I are fun and we travel and we just have the best time. We're also really seriously committed to each other and love each other very much and have like a very like beautiful partnership. And like, I need to take that seriously.
Yeah.
And like, and not like I've always appreciated it, but I thought about how like that kind of ties in.
Yeah.
To the rest.
100%.
Take yourself seriously. You can have
okay
you can have your husband.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. Honestly,
so weird. It's so weird coming out of my throat.
I know, because I was like, Elliot and I were talking about it. I was like, I get that she's like, you know, state of shock, like excited shock, because this is like something she truly, I don't think in her conscious mind has let herself consider. It's like she's lived in a house for years and then suddenly found out that there was a basement there. And it's like this door that you've never opened.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell? This has been here the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little scared to open this door and see what's down there. But like, cool, there's a fucking basement in my house.
Well, or it's going, oh, there's the idea of the basement. That's scary. That's scary. And now it's like, bitch, this is a finished basement.
Yeah, I can do so much down here.
Our life just got bigger.
Yeah, we could get some air hockey going down here.
Yes, exactly. Marriage is air hockey.
Yeah, but it's so exciting to see you so excited about it.
Well, another thing, and like, again, this has nothing to do with Chip, just like it's my brain.
Sure.
Is we're engaged, having the best night. I'm in shock, and I have this thought. I go like, I hope I don't wake up in the middle of the night, post cocktails, post belly full of meatloaf, and go, oh fuck, like, oh fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
you know, like, oh, this wasn't a fever dream.
Was this a bad decision?
And how do you walk back from that?
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was like, hey, bitch, you know, like I woke up calm and I haven't felt weirded out the whole. I know that's the grandest gesture of love I could make. I have not had anxiety
from a person who has spoken publicly about never wanting to be married. The thing is, like, we can change our minds and grow as adults.
It's not identity.
Right. We're not pigeonholed to a version of ourselves that maybe we felt connected to at a point in time.
Right.
And now it's like, oh yeah, I did believe that back then.
Yeah.
Now I'm open to this opportunity. I'm open to this experience. That's how, like, with Elliot, it was the same thing of being like, I remember you being like, are you okay? Afterwards, of in like a very sweet, like, knowing that I wasn't necessarily on Pinterest making a bridal board.
Well,
or
making
anything.
sure your friend isn't going along with something for the sake of not hurting their partner's feelings.
Exactly. And then once you start considering that it doesn't have to be whatever you fantasized it was going to be, which is why you didn't want to do it, that it can be literally anything that you want it to be. And it only deepens the relationship that you have with someone and does make you feel like, oh shit, it's us against the world. Cool. Yeah. Okay. That's fun.
I remember Chip talking about it because I forget what had prompted it, but like, again, we had very few conversations about marriage ever, you know? Yeah. And for him, he was like, I think most marriages are bullshit. I mean, he was just kind of like, they're going to be divorced, or like, you know, that's for the wrong reasons or whatnot, you know? But he was like, so I don't think getting married would like change or fix or do anything. It's simply for us, it would simply be a statement of public recognition that we're devoted to each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Incredible. It's symbolic in so many ways. And it's also fun. Yeah. Like, it is. I love that you are having fun with it and you're not like deer in headlights. Like, what do I do? Like, you've seemed to have like said yes in a lot of ways, of being like, yes, I am going to be engaged to you, but also, yes, I'm taking this on and I love it and this is so fun. And yeah, because the world knows now.
I know.
Which is so fun. God, thank God. I can't keep a secret. As I continue on my own health journey, my gut health is a huge priority to me. And I'm talking about microbiome. Did you know that there's 38 trillion bacteria that live in and on you, especially in your gut? They are essential to whole body health. That's why Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic benefits your gut, skin, and heart health and is one of my faves in just 2 capsules a day. You add it to your routine, which I love. I've developed a health routine. Can you believe it? So I take it regularly every day. It keeps me consistent. It keeps my gut regular, which it used to not be regular, and it's convenient. DS-01 does not need refrigeration, and they have a free travel vial in their welcome kit that allows you to take DS-01 on the go. One of the things I love about Seed's DS-01 is their commitment to microbiome science. They're backed by science, lots of science, with clinical trials and breakthrough research published in top scientific journals. Seed's probiotic research and development make DS-01 a product that you can trust. Not only has every ingredient been tested individually in scientific studies for their safety, dosage, and benefits, the DS-01 formula as a whole has been evaluated in 2 clinical trials. And like I said, taking something like this is best when you take it regularly. regularly. Probiotics and prebiotics work best when used consistently. Like any other routine, health habits like getting in your daily walk or eating, fruits and veggies, you gotta have a routine. You gotta build consistency. You have to stay consistent to see the benefits. Seed subscription service easily builds DS-01 into your routine. So if you are curious about supporting your gut this summer, do it with Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. Go to seed.com/weird and use code 25TMGW to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic at seed.com/weird, code 25TMGW.
No, well, you guys, let me tell you what's frustrating. Okay?
Yeah. Tell us what your experience has been.
Here's what's frustrating, is getting engaged and knowing your best friend is out of town for a week.
Yeah, finally, you had a secret that you had to keep for a week until I got back in town.
Well, I know. Well, I mean, obviously, yeah, cancer. But also, how fast was it from you and Elliot getting engaged to telling people?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was maybe a few days.
Because your family knew, because Elliot's old school.
Elliot had asked my dad for permission, and he also asked my stepdad, and that was
that is
so
really sweet,
incredibly
and
sweet.
Of him.
Yeah, and so they knew. So that night we were wasted, and I called everyone.
Okay, great.
Because he was also like, "You should call everyone," and I was like, "Well, I'll call them tomorrow." And he's like, "No, you should call because they know." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll call them now then."
Okay.
And then I think I remember telling you after we podcast because I had my ring in my wallet, and I was
wait,
like,
you didn't tell me before, and then
Yeah.
we launched into it.
No,
No, you came over and you're like blah blah blah, and then I see you fumbling, and you're like, I'm engaged,
maybe it
and
was
I
that.
think you told me the story, maybe on air. I don't know, on air.
On air.
No, but I thought about
Two
it.
Frasier
Chip
cranes.
was like, "Are you going to tell Grace?" Because I thought about telling you, like, for a live reaction.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're on Zoom. Like, they're about to surprise Elliot's stepdad. This is a different day for them. Like, we'll wait till they get back. But man, it was tough. So on the July 4th, we went down to the beach to hang out with Bar Rescue people.
Right.
And Chip's bestie, Nick, lives down there. And so we pulled him aside and told him. And then it kind of, so it was one of those things where we didn't mean to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so also, Jacqueline is out of town and she had a tough week. So I was like, well, I'm going to not she's already dealing with dog stuff and family and things. I was like, well, I'm going to wait till that cools off. So I was just in this weird,
what do I do?
How do I tell people? When will they be offended if they weren't the first person? What's going on?
Yeah.
So finally,
Man.
after we on Saturday, go and get our engagement photos.
Yeah, you had messaged me and you were like, "Hey, when you guys get back in town, let's go get drinks before Chip leaves again." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds fun."
Well, first I was like, what time do you get back on Friday?
Right. And I was like, "Whoa, she really wants to get drinks." And I was like, "We land at 9 p.m. And then you were like, "Okay, maybe the next day, let's grab some drinks and Chip's going out of town on Sunday." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds good. We have dinner plans, but maybe we can do a happy hour before." And you were like, "Great." Again, hindsight's everything. Because the next day you were like, "You guys still got dinner plans? You want to meet up?" I was like, "How's?" And Elliot and I were like, shit, because he was tired just from a week in Florida. And I was like, let's just have a drink. It'll be really fun. Chip's going out of town. We don't get to see them together very much. So we were like, okay, let's try here. And you were just like, yeah, okay. Usually you make all the plans and you're like, hey, how about this time? You want to try this place or this place or this place or this place? And I was like, you want to go here? You're like, that's great.
That's great. See you then. So I had already, there's this place in Koreatown in LA called Tom's 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah.
And it's kind of iconic.
You guys have gotten photos there before?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I've just heard about it. And then also Casey Musgraves did a photo shoot there.
Nice.
And basically what it is, it's it's a little hoardery on the inside.
Okay.
They there's just
you say that as
we're surrounded. Look, you guys, storage units in LA are very expensive.
Yeah.
But he fixes watches and has a little photo studio.
Amazing.
And so, and it's all these cheesy backgrounds and perfection, right? And so I had heard and wanted to go. Meanwhile, the Yelp reviews are either Tom and his wife are so nice, or Tom was incredibly rude and made me cry during the photo shoot. There is no in between.
Incredible.
So I say to Chip, I'm like, look, this guy, it depends on the day or maybe the vibe we put off.
Yeah.
But he might be an asshole. We can't let it ruin. We can't let it ruin our engaged photos.
Go with it.
So we get down there. I didn't realize it was by appointment, like walk-in. So I called that day because I was like, let's do that for our engagement photos. That'll be so fun. And because, we love a corny photo shoot. And so I call and we're all good to go. And so we get there like 15 minutes early. And then you immediately realize this isn't a place you like hang out for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like there's no waiting room. It's like
nothing
awkward.
to do.
So she was like, come back at 2:05. And I was like, okay, we're in middle of nowhere, LA. So we walk to the end of the block. I'm like, this place is a bar. We walk to the end of the block and it's like one of those like stone front bars. You go inside, it's midnight.
Yeah.
It's like very much like just, it's, how do I say this? Like white people don't go, it's a Mexican bar.
Yeah.
That like, they were all like, who is this white woman dressed like a cupcake?
Yeah. Yep. Here she comes.
Like what's going on? Like it was like 2 o'clock.
Like record player scratch.
It felt like people had been working like the third shift and like they're coming to get drinks after work. 100%. And then we're like, la la la, we're waiting for Tom's 1 hour photo. So we go in there, we have a beer, and I look at Chip and I'm like, this is perfect. Yeah. I was like, we're having a beer in the darkest bar in Los Angeles.
Amazing.
Before we go into Tom's. We go in there. Tom takes us back. It's basically a walk-in closet is his studio. And Grace, he comes over and he positions you. And
like a mannequin.
Like a mannequin. It tells you and goes like this. And then he says, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. And literally you are just a Barbie.
Incredible.
That he places. And we had the best time and we immediately got them on a thumb drive. So I'm like, showing up to drinks with you, false eyelashes, makeup, like a flouncy little dress.
So I'm saying hindsight, you guys walked in and in my mind, I went, are they going to a wedding after this? And I was like, you look so nice. And you were like, those newly rentals. And I was like, okay. All right. Sounds good. And yeah, you guys are hanging out for like a little bit. Fucking kudos to both of you for the small talk that you endured with us before telling us. Well, you were like, here's a dog I saw on Instagram that's funny. Here, how was Florida? Blah, blah, blah. And we're like, blah, blah. His dad was so sweet. He cried. It was really great. We're tired, but we're going to go to this thing later tonight and it'll be fun. And then I think I said like, what have you guys been up to?
Well, here's the deal is you got there a little before us. Yeah. And I didn't want our drinks to be staggered. I didn't want to tell you and then immediately the guy's coming over with their drink. Like I wanted us to all have a drink.
Yeah.
Right? So I've got my little ring under the table. I'm like spinning it. I can tell Chip is anxious.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's Chip. So like I just assumed he's leaving tomorrow. Like he's got 1,000 things on his mind work wise.
No, I can tell Chip was like quiet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm being like, I saw a hairless French bulldog. Like just trying to play cool. And then I forget how I launched into it.
You said, I remember because I glitched. I said, what have you guys been up to this last week? And you were like, we've been pretty busy because you're not the only one marrying a Morgan boy. And you pointed to your finger.
I said, I'm sorry to copy you, but I'm also marrying a Morgan boy.
Yeah. And then you did that, and it took me like a second I was like,
you and Elliot on camera.
What? Like truly, time slowed down, and I was trying to process, and I was just like, I felt like we got proposed to in that moment. Like
I know.
Literally,
I know. Y'all's reaction. I mean, Elliot was like, I was like,
he was so happy.
Yo.
He was so. Both of us couldn't believe it. So fucking excited for you guys. I was just like in shock, true shock.
Yes.
But like in a way that was like, I didn't know there was a basement in this house.
Yes!
Like, this is incredible.
You got a game room down here?
Yeah.
We can come over?
Amazing. And then, then we had to go to this dinner thing. And Elliot and I just talked like two little kids on a sugar high the entire time about how excited we were for you guys.
Well,
Like,
it's the adrenaline. After Chip proposed and we're like, just looking at each other, being like, what the fuck? He looks at me and he goes, I could lift this house.
Yeah.
He was like, I am so jacked up. I could lift this actual house off its foundation.
100. I think, and also for Elliot, I think he felt so like kindred spirit with Chip of being like, isn't it crazy to propose to a girl who has publicly said she doesn't want to be married? And So he was able
bond.
Yeah, he was able to be like, you did it, man. A rite of passage.
These
truly.
2 Morgan boys were government plants.
Yeah.
To come in and be like, we are encouraging marriage in these elder millennial women who aren't procreating.
Yeah, truly, truly wild. So freaking excited for you guys. Yeah, you told us like the story. I couldn't believe that it had happened the night before we all went to cars and coffee, and that you guys had to keep it a secret. But the fact too that, because again, the shock and like the processing of like, oh my god, this is so exciting, and then you guys being like, oh, we just took our engagement photos, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. They're into it. It's not like a moment of adjustment of Mamrie having to be like, let me figure this out
don't
first.
tell anyone, and I gotta see, and I'm gonna start therapy next week. And, he's slowly breaking me down.
Right. No, it was like, oh, she's
so
saying
fun.
yes to this in so many ways, and that's so exciting because you guys just you've always seemed good, but it just like brings another level, another dimension to the situation.
What? Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I gotta give some credit to Larry, because like, I already had Beans.
Yeah.
Love Beans. Beans is obsessed with Chip.
Yeah.
It's very cute. Like he says she's not, but it's like
She is.
Beans will sit out on the deck all day long, not come in to visit me.
Yeah.
And the second Chip walks in, she's like, oh,
Hello, sir.
Well, there's my butt. But like Larry being an addition to our family and being like, we're a little unit now, as opposed to here's me and my boyfriend and because at the end of the day, my dog, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like, and before you say anything, Chip, as you listen, I know Larry is your dog, but now we're getting married. So I would like to.
Oh my God, that's so crazy to hear you say.
I know, it's so weird. But so it's felt like the last year felt very much like a family unit.
Yeah,
So,
it really bonded you guys. I mean, it does. This feels like, I think I keep saying, like, it's surprising and also not surprising at all. Like, it's surprising just because on, outdated principles, maybe it wasn't something that you wanted to do, but also you guys have the healthiest relationship that I've seen in friends that we have.
Thank you.
So it's not surprising in the sense that, like, yeah, Chip, go deeper with her in a way.
And it's been 7 years, and I'm just.
I know. I love your caption. I love
all week. I was just like, child bride.
Oh my God, we went to this dinner thing, Fork and Film, which I'll talk about later another time. But when we were there, and we were just like talking to each other the whole time during this movie of being like how excited we were. I was like, I bet they got that thumb drive. I bet she posts tomorrow because he's going to go out of town.
Yeah.
And she's ripping the Band-Aid off to tell family and friends. And how could you keep this a secret for longer than the week she's already kept it a secret?
How can you keep it a secret, especially when you have like Tom's 1 hour photo? Stare into our future photos. No, I was absolutely, and the response from it has been so lovely. And
isn't it crazy?
It's crazy how many people you find out wanted you to get engaged. Like, not that anyone would write like, oh damn, another one bites the dust. Like, we had a couple people were like, thought you were already married, and a couple other people were like, hell had frozen over. I can't wait to hear. I never thought I'd see the day because of my like vocalness of it. Yeah. I think only one person maybe was just kind of like, oh damn. Like I thought there was one person left who wasn't going to do,
We love love.
Yeah. But so the support has just been so lovely.
Overwhelming too, because we were talking a little bit before that, like, the question everyone asks immediately is like, what are your plans? What are you doing? What's going on?
We were talking about this, and it was like even my friend Megan, she texted earlier, and she was like, have you talked about dates or bachelorette?
Yeah.
And only to be like
helpful.
Like, lean on me.
Right.
So I'm happy to plan anything, that's my girl. But like, truly, people who like don't even know you will be like, so what's the plan? And I'm like, well, if the plan is to remember to put it back on after I wash my hands.
Yep.
Like, I'm not a girl who wears jewelry. You do not catch me wearing jewelry unless I'm like at an event. And even still, I'm like, my ears hurt from these earrings.
That's a nice jewelry to take care of it is a whole other thing.
Terrified.
I'm still not great at it, but it is like, at first it was like, oh my, I can't take this off because I'll lose it and then I'll be fucked, and that's not good.
I know. The morning after the 4th of July, I got up and washed my face because I didn't the night before, and like did all thing. And I had left my ring like in the spot I've been putting it in the bathroom when I like take a shower. And then we get back in bed, we're hanging out, and then I was just like, I had a moment where I was like, is my ring in the sand somewhere in the beach? Because like they set off fireworks. We were there. They got too close. I was like, let's get out of here. Like running away from these fireworks. I was like, what if that jostled the ring? Yeah. And just totally terrified. I lose whole ass massive vibrators.
Yeah. Your credit cards are gone every week.
Forget it. I order new ones monthly, so try to hack me, bitch. But so it's just it's a whole new sensation. So so you don't have to ask. There are no plans. I have no idea.
Enjoy it the way it is for now.
If we're gonna have a wedding, if we're gonna elope, like whatever, you know. But I'm marrying the boy I met at camp almost 20 years ago.
Oh my God. That's a movie.
It was 2005. Almost 20 years ago, I first met Chip Morgan.
Wow. Again, that is romantic.
Platonic. He was a child.
Damn, that's so romantic. I know, and now I said you guys need to be in the Bumble commercial that you...
Bitch, give us some money, Bumble.
I know. Lest we not forget, they reconnected via Bumble.
So anyway...
Incredible.
I'm very happy. I'm also just like... I'm still in a state of shock, so I'm wondering when that stops.
I mean, it's just I mean, I don't know. It's like a happy shock because it's like a new reality. That it's like there's another dimension to your existence now. And it's weird to say the word fiance. It's fun and silly.
It's so fun. And even like we're like taking a little trip next month. And I was like, oh, we're celebrating our engagement.
Yeah.
Give us some free champagne.
Yeah. Now you can, I mean, you got to slide into some DMs over some engagement
stuff.
stuff.
I was a monster before. I said, I was like, Chip, I was like, look, if we have a wedding, weddings are expensive. It might be brought to you by Bombas and Audible. I might have Hello Fresh embroidered in the veil.
Like, you'll see.
No shame.
I know, but that's the fun thing is that you get to take your time and figure out exactly what you guys want to do. Yeah. When and if you want to do something.
This isn't 90 Day Fiance. You didn't get engaged and it's like, cool. Well, the timer just set. So it's either 2 years or it's over. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a whole new.
And the wild thing is that literally Chip left the next morning.
The next morning after we told you guys.
Right. And then you guys posted on socials that when he was leaving.
Well, I already knew my caption.
Yeah.
You know, and I
then you had to coach him on a caption.
Because I kept saying like child bride all week. So I was like, well, I'm going to be like, we're moving too fast, 7 years. I'm so young, 40, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll write some sweet stuff. And he was like, I'm just going to write got engaged. And I was like, no, you're not.
Chip,
no, you're not.
Chip, I love you so much. I'm in love with your completely neutral captions.
Totally neutral.
Just very direct and exactly what is being shown in the photo.
No extra emoji.
No puns, nothing silly, no jokes.
He's just like, you want to see the picture? I'm describing the picture.
It's like a computer generated description.
Yes. And I was like, he said, got engaged. I go, no. I was at this one. We're like walking the dogs before he heads to the airport. I was like, even if you just put the ring emoji, I was like, Chip, you gotta do something. So it was very sweet. It was like my favorite person in the world, my best friend, and now my fiance.
Oh my God.
I love him so much.
So sweet.
Our number one listener, Chip Morgan.
I know. That's the greatest part is that Chip, did she cover all the bases telling the story?
Nerve-wracking.
He must have been so fucking nervous that whole flight home.
Can you imagine?
I can't. Like, that's insane to me to be like sitting on the biggest like life-changing moment for better or worse.
And knowing like in his head, he was going to do it that night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I picked him up and I was like, oh, by the way, I've already got like meatloaf prep and like scalloped potatoes and this and that. And he was like, oh, that's perfect. Like, you know? And in hindsight, he had a layover and I saw him. He was like, I'm going to get a drink. I was like, you get one. Yeah, that's great. You know, like you're not driving today.
Yeah.
And and he's drinking he sent me a photo of a bourbon. And in retrospect, I was like, you don't drink liquor in the day. Like what? So I was like, oh, the nerves were hitting you on the layover, huh? It was just so sweet. He was like, feel my heart.
Oh.
And like, he was just like, I've never been that nervous, but now I feel like I've never been like so relieved and powerful.
Yeah.
He took down the trophy hunter took down the last wild wildebeest.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Oh,
damn, that new moon energy.
I mean, it really did it.
Holy shit.
What else can we do? What else should we do?
I know. How exciting. I mean, he must be so relieved.
Yeah.
And when do you guys see each other again?
In 2 weeks for his little brother's wedding.
Nice.
Which is just so funny because I could be wrong, but I think his brother is like 24.
Uh-huh.
And like they were like college sweethearts. Then like the next year you get engaged. Like they're doing the like traditional Southern thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're perfect for each other. So normally when I'd be like, that's too young, I'm like, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's so in love with her. So we're going there, but I'm just kind of like, sorry guys, child bride coming through. Excuse me. This sea of 24-year-olds who graduated from college 2 years ago.
Hold your hand in all of the right ways.
I'm sure everyone's like, so it must be her, third marriage? I'm just like, first time engaged. First time caller, long time hater.
Oh my God. Catch that bouquet.
Oh my God. Now
No, you can't. You can't.
Why?
You're taken. It's only single girls that go up there.
This is the first. Well, I don't know if I ever go up
or
there.
non-married.
Okay. I don't know if I ever go up there.
I never go up. I can't now.
But now I'm not avoiding it because I don't want to get married.
Right.
Because I am going to get married.
Yeah. The deed is done.
Oh my God.
Wow. What
Wow.
an incredible week. I mean, how shocked were you guys? I mean, I can just picture screams.
Yes.
Screams. My stepmom said she cried. She couldn't believe it. We met some people at this cancer event last night, a mother and daughter that were so sweet that the daughter was like, my mom called me.
My mom called me to tell me Mamrie was engaged. I was like, I'm obsessed with you guys. Yeah, it's very, very surreal, and I'm very happy, and
yay!
Oh, and just like exhausted.
Yeah.
Like when Chip left on Sunday, I felt so bad he had to go to work because I was like, I'm napping.
Yeah.
It's such an emotional
the adrenaline
hangover.
Uh-huh.
I'm so excited. So if you want someone to propose, look like dog shit and make a meatloaf.
And spend
7 years together of love.
Yeah, and also indicating that you don't want to be married.
Put all signs. So anyway,
wow.
I love him so much.
So happy for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is so exciting.
It's so exciting, and this got weird.
Yeah, it did.